Why should we expect anybody to give up hours of their day and days of their week to be in a worse off position? It sounds like a stupid question, but that's a situation that a lot of people in the UK find themselves in when they look at the jobs market and the world of work. When I made a video last week speaking about this, I had a lot of people in the comment section giving me a lot of reasons why for them work does not make sense. And here's the thing, a lot of people do want to work, but when we ask the question that we just did, things become a lot more clear. Why would you put in hours of your day and multiple days a week to be in a financially worse position than if you didn't do anything? The system is broken. And if you ask me, and if you ask a lot of people who I've seen in the comment section of previous videos of mine, one of the biggest things that demotivates people are these 0-hour contract jobs. Because these are sold to young people, students, and anybody else who may be in desperate need of a job as something that's great. They offer great flexibility for students and other people who need a lot of free time. Maybe you've got kids, maybe you're just trying to find a small hours job. But in reality, it seems like these are one of the worst things for a lot of people. Because yeah, some employers will use them well. They will help the employee, they will help you to do things that you need to do and work around your life. But at the same time, this is not the case for most. Because a lot of these jobs, like I say, they are now very, very common. They're a more and increasingly common process and thing as time goes on. Because think about it, they work brilliantly, but they don't benefit who you might think. Because they're sold, as I say, as these jobs which are beneficial to the employee. They offer great flexibility, but here's the thing, they benefit the employer. Because if there's no hours going, if they've got too many staff, they're well within their rights to not give you any hours, or give you very low hours. Maybe 1 day a week, maybe you'll get no days in a week. And say what you want about certain people for whom that might help, but for a lot of people this is not good enough, right? People need to know when they're going to be working, how often they're going to be working. And another great thing, or a funny thing at least, in a lot of these companies, these great 0 hours which are great for the employee, if you turn down a shift or anything like that, or if you can't make it, you are going to be in trouble. You're at the very least going to be questioned, possibly even worse. You might even be at risk of losing your job. So you can't really cancel. You can get other people to cover, but they're going to have a problem with it, right? If you don't show up, if you don't want to come, if you can't come, that's potentially problematic in a lot of these places. If they don't have any shifts to give you, oh, it's fine. You're just going to make do with it. Who's going to go for these jobs? Now, it's funny because we spend a lot of time when we talk about incomes and careers speaking about the highest earners. And when I say the highest earners, I don't mean the people who make millions or even hundreds of thousands. The people who make good money, salaries, higher pay, maybe above 30, 40, 50,000. But the absolute lowest paid workers are oftentimes the ones that we don't talk about. But these are the people who need to be spoken about the most because oftentimes they're struggling the most and their jobs give them the worst conditions. And this is just an example of this, right? These 0 hours jobs and the conditions that are expected in them. Imagine if you're somebody who's trying to make it for yourself. Maybe you're a single parent or maybe you're a student. You want to work, right? But you don't know what hours you're going to be getting. You don't know if you're going to get any hours at all. Why would you risk, especially in the UK, some of the benefits that you can get, to be honest, right? Some of the state things to potentially be much worse off for an employer that doesn't care. And here's the thing, that's not right. We can say it's not right, but it's not the fault of the people who do it. It's the fault of the system for allowing this to be the case. The system allows it to be the case. And these are a lot of the jobs that people get offered, especially lower skilled workers. Because as I say, you go into the world of getting a degree and a career, that's different. A lot of these low paid jobs, minimum wage, they're not careers, they're jobs. They don't provide any progression, they don't provide any decent training, they're just jobs. They're something that you come in, you go, you do, then you go home. So these are the places where workers are a lot more dispensable. They're the places where pay is often a lot less competitive. You are basically minimum wage or nothing. And even then, we spoke about this in a previous video that I made earlier today. For people under the age of, I think it's 18, minimum wage is below £7, right? It's like £6.40 an hour. So what are you going to do? Are you going to work 6 to 12 hours of your day, especially even 12 hours of your day? Think about this. 12 hours if you're under 18, to make less than £100 in the best years of your life, arguably, where you've got your youth, where you've got less worries. Who's going to do it? No one's going to do it. And this is just a couple of the ways where the job system now messes everybody up. It messes everybody up. We speak about these low-skilled jobs, and in theory, they should be very, very easy to get, right? You don't need much training to be a cashier. You don't need much training to be a barmaid or a waiter. Very, very easy jobs. But think about this. I'll give you an example from my life. I applied for over 200 jobs and got 3 interviews. 3 interviews. Now, this is a thing. I've said this in a few of my other videos. These were not skilled jobs. They were not careers. I was looking for something to do on the side. I already run my own businesses, so I'm fine. I just want something to do. But to apply for 250 jobs and get 3 interviews for all not the best jobs, let's say. And again, I had very low expectations. Warehouse, bar, shop. What else? All these basic jobs. They're not hiring people. They're not hiring people. And when they do hire people, a lot of the time they feel like they're not being paid properly, the people who work there. And a lot of the time they're not, right? They're working these contracts which are very beneficial to the employer. They will oftentimes knock people who need it, such as potentially parents, maybe single parents, people who want to work. They'll knock them out of eligibility for some of the things that they could otherwise get to make their life better off. And then you think about this, right? Don't blame the people, blame the system. How can somebody be employed and have no opportunities to work? On paper you have a job, so that's that. In reality, you have no working hours. 6 hours a week, 12 hours a week, it's not enough for most people. Great if you're a student, maybe. But even then, you don't know if you're coming or going. You don't know if you're here or there. And then they wonder why so many people are demotivated. Because here's the thing. On base level jobs, again, careers, career progression, salaries, different, perhaps. But especially, and I know a lot of people on salaries and careers, I know a lot of people who do that. They're struggling as well. But think about this. If you're in a basic job, you're just trying to get by, you're willing to do 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, whatever, but your employer won't let you. But there's no jobs going for you. But the jobs that are going are very, very poor quality. You don't know if they're going to be long-term things, the management don't care. Is this what it is? Is this what the situation is? And then we speak about the fact that people don't want to work. Do you wonder why? Does anybody actually wonder why anymore? People will be getting paid less and less. Their money goes less far as well. Think about that in today's world, because that's of course true. What is the incentive for a lot of these people? They're going to be worse off for giving up a lot of their time. And this is just another way in which the system's broken. They wonder why workers are so miserable. Bosses are rude, right? Employers don't care. This is why. This is why. And that's if you even are fortunate enough to get any jobs or any job offerings in the first place. Just have a think about that, guys, before we ask questions of why people don't want to work and all that sort of stuff. Because this is the real world situation in today's job market. And that's just the truth. It's not an opinion, it's the facts of it.